Come on, Steve. Go on. Go on, Steve.
Jesus. For me, climbing really started with two really keen parents, so there was no escape right from the start. I think I climbed with my dad a lot. He was my real hero. You know, he taught me everything that I knew right from the start, and I climbed with him so many weekends on all my first routes. He was always there behind me. I don't know whether I really got good fast. I don't even know whether I got good ever in my own view. I just climbed a lot. I think by the time I reached 14, I knew that climbing was just everything. It just totally took over my life, revolved around it really, and I started to gain my own climbing friends. A bunch of us at school would be out every weekend. I think I was always maybe one step ahead of my mates in terms of psyche. Okay, level I was ahead of them, but that didn't seem to really matter. But I think I was kind of driving the passion and just getting out there. I was always the person that was leading the pack. All of my upbringing as a climber was all traditional. I mean, I was a full British traditional climber. And yeah, traditional climbing can be dangerous. I had a pretty bad accident in Pembroke, kind of got away with that one. But it was my friend that had a really bad accident, and it really happened right in front of my eyes. He took a ground fall, landed on his head, really serious injury. It looked like he definitely died, and I had to sort of deal with that firsthand, happening right there. And then it became clear that he hadn't died, but it was looking like he probably would die. It was really full on, really intense, the whole experience, and it took him a long time to recover. It really affected him personally and had a big influence on my climbing. I think I found that climbing changed for me after that. It wasn't the same sport that it used to be. I lost my passion for it, and to be honest, it was just easier to let it go. Well, we're back out in Asturias, northern Spain. I was here last year and I had an amazing time, keen to come back. Now, I guess on my bucket list is a 9A abroad. I've never actually done one. And Richie Patterson, author of the local guide, he's found me a 9A, all natural. Supposed to be amazing. Can't wait to try it. Right, so first go up. It's going to be an interesting exploration. It's been a long time since I've tried something really hard like this, so I'm not quite sure whether I'm ready for it, but I'm here for the challenge. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh shit, he's gone from a vertical wall.
No, it's not a vertical wall. No, it's not a vertical wall.
Yeah.
Get an intermediate pinch with your left hand and then bounce to a good little, 2 centimetre deep edge that's running like that.
Like that?
Yeah. That's it, then go again with your left hand. That's it, yeah. Tiny, really razor crimp there, and you'll be able to do it off. And get the side pull with your left, tooth with your right. That's it, and then long way left, that's the one. And then you put your heel on for you. That's it, heel and rock into the groove. Awesome. Really good, Steve. Yeah, that's it.
So-called rest.
I've even seen 3, you're the third person I've seen on this route now, and I've actually never seen anybody on a 9A before.
Oh, really?
No, never seen anybody, so it's really interesting. And it's just watching different styles, so it'll be interesting which way you pick in the end as well. You know?
I think you can distill it down quite a lot. So what you first see, you think, oh, this is really hard. You can find little tricks, foot there, heel there, toe there. That might start to make the difference, but finding that quickly is going to be quite hard work, and it's quite hard to see because the rock's so white and there's little bits all over the place.
Yeah.
That's red pointing, isn't it?
So that was really good seeing Steve on the route. I mean, he's doing really well so far. I mean, what I haven't told him is the guys who've been on it reckon it could even be 9A plus. It's only had 2 ascents, and everybody says it's really, really hard. But I was kind of avoiding telling him that bit till he needs to know. I'll keep that on a need-to-know basis, but I don't think he needs to know now.
There was quite a while where I just didn't climb at all, like quite a few years, 3-4 years, and I was just travelling, partying, hanging out. It's kind of easy to do that really, it was way easier than going climbing. And it was out in Thailand whilst I was travelling, I just randomly found myself on that Ton Sai area, which is incredible, like an amazing place, and it was obviously so good to climb. And the difference there was it's all sport climbing. I'd never sport climbed before, and I understood it, I could see that it was safe. And after the accidents that I'd had, it kind of just fell in place. So when I came back from travelling and started really getting into the sport climbing really excited me. You know, these were routes that I'd read about in the magazines when I was 14 and 15, and then I was trying it, and it was amazing. I never really considered that I was outpacing anybody at all, I still don't. I was just going out climbing and moving through the grid. It's all about that personal challenge, isn't it? It's all about that, that's everything. I remember the first few days when people would say, oh yeah, it's Strong Steve at the crag, and I'd be thinking, whoa, hang on a minute, Strong Steve, what sort of name is that? And then getting invited to parties that had all these people, you know, like there was all the top stars were there. Moon was there, Moffat, you know, all these guys that I was like, whoa, I couldn't even talk to them or even look at them. Mutation was, I guess, my first 9A. That was back in '98, and it was a real effort to give it that grade. It didn't feel like I had any place to give it 9A. I mean, Hubble is only 8C+, but nothing really changed. I was still just the same climber, going out climbing, having fun. So it was a real surprise what happened after I did my next hard route. Tired then. Ben Moon had been trying Northern Lights for, I think it was like 4 years he was trying it, and Ben was like a massive figure. So people were expecting that when it was going to be climbed, it would be the hardest route in the world, or one of. And when I climbed it, I guess people thought, whoa, hang on a minute, this amazing route's being climbed, and who is this guy? First of all, I quit my job. I was working as an engineer, I'd been doing it for 7 years, and suddenly I thought maybe I could make a bit of a life out of climbing. So I was integrating into the whole community of climbing. I'd picked up a few sponsors, I was going on trips everywhere, and to be honest, I was living the dream. But I just got to this point where it just didn't quite give me enough. Do you know what? I really felt like I needed to get my teeth into something, and I think it brought me back to trying these hard red points, because you kind of develop a relationship with a route and you just bring the best out of yourself. So I did the odd hard route. I think I climbed Rain Shadow in 2003, that was 9A, but it was only after I got back to Sheffield that I really started getting my teeth stuck into things, and when I really upped the bar personally with Overshadow, that was 9A plus. At the time, it was the hardest route in the UK. That was a big deal for me. And climbing Hubble, 8C plus, maybe 9A, depends who you ask. It was one of my biggest climbing achievements ever. It was an important tick because a lot of people would say, well, yeah, he said he's climbed 9A, but he's not done Hubble yet, has he? There was definitely a time when it seemed like I was the only person that was really cutting edge sport climbing. But that's not really the case, really. British climbers love to do everything. Traditional climbing, bouldering, ice climbing, mountaineering, the whole lot. We've always been like that. It is inspiring watching the young guys coming out because they're way stronger than I am. They're way stronger. It's not going to be long before they wipe the floor with my routes. Winging it. Come on. It's knackered. Oh, it's too warm now.
So, what's it to be?
I'm going to go proper professional decision, and I think I'm going to bag it. It's just got warm now. The best decision really is to rest up and come back fresher and give it another shot later when conditions are maybe better. So the first time I looked at Rainman was 2010, and it just began with a little look down the line. But to be honest, right from my very first visit to Malham, way back, it was the line that I saw. I could see this soaring line that went straight up. So I bolted that in 2010. And to be honest, I can remember thinking, oh, okay, there's some holes on here, this might not be too bad. But it was classic Malham, they're all upside down. So when I came to actually try it, they were all rubbish. And yeah, so obviously it took quite a while. Clipping the chains of Rainman was, I suppose that was like a total highlight in my climbing career, if not like a highlight in my life, to be honest. Yeah, it was like a massive buzz. I mean, there's no doubt Rainman was like the hardest route by far, and it's the first time I think where I really admitted to myself that this one might definitely get away. The actual day that I did it was pretty special, and this is what's made the route really special. It worked out so well because everything was perfect on that one day. I was rested, the conditions were amazing, and I got it by the absolute skin of my teeth. I could not have been any closer. So it's made me think that was the limit, and that's really quite special because sometimes you do a route and you think, actually it wasn't that bad, you know, what's all the fuss around? But this was so close, and that to me is what I've always been looking for, so I can take really something special from that. Just a bit time constrained, and it doesn't really matter to me that much whether I do it or don't do it. It just feels as though there's a little bit of pressure. I'm not very good under pressure. I like life to be simple and easy. But hey ho.
I I know that they watching me, trying to figure me out. Like, what's my life like? Am I committed, devout? Perception is relying on what you trained your sight like. So what you see is whatever gets permitted by your eyes, right? I'm guessing that it's okay if they follow me, as long as they know that the praise is never no not to me. No, not to be condescending. My philosophy is artistry presented should never become the god of me. Pros become the cons, artists kind of me. But to become content with this content, leave room for the kind of picture that in the concept. Why you sit at the feet or beneath this monolithic object? Now painted in the image of
This is
God,
this time.
Covenant of the brothers pulling out the rug from under you all. Standing on solid ground, mud can't hold a structure for long. Let me ask what you're building on, corruption or the word of you. Constructed a constellation with curves of universal wordsmith. In 6 days I stand in awe of the sevenfold in worship. Captured by the Sabbath as I shoot with the Nazarene. And unplugged for the madness, the calf is golden, hands open as they scream.
Jesus, that was amusingly close. Well, I hadn't really thought about being remembered, but I guess if I was going to be remembered, I'd like to be remembered as somebody who was just a real solid British climber, like a real all-rounder, somebody who was involved in sport climbing, trad climbing, a bit of mountain climbing, just stuff, all British climbing. That's what I am. That's what I am.
I remember there was a boulder problem on Stanage Edge. It's my traverse, it's called Jerry's Traverse, and Ben did an extension into the traverse, which is a really hard start to the traverse. And then about halfway through the traverse, there's a sit down, which I did, which I probably thought was 8A, which was like a really, really hard thing. And then I heard that Steve had done Ben's extension into that boulder problem. And that's when he did that, I just thought, my God, that is absolutely bloody horrendous. I remember thinking, you know, I could spend a lifetime on that. I never, even at the height of my career, I could have done that.
He's obviously incredibly tenacious, you know, very focused, very driven, you know, very motivated. He obviously loves climbing, really strong fingers. Really fit. I mean, he's just like an all-round, really, really talented climber. You know, he's got everything really.
Well, I must have probably seen something in some climbing magazines way back in the day when he did a few first ascents. I've definitely heard of his first ascents, Rain Shadow, Overshadow, those. So that must have been quite a few years back. I had a brief look at Mutation when I did Hubble last time, or when I did Evolution. I think it is 9A plus. It's quite tough. That boulder problem in the middle, the rollover move, is really hard, and I couldn't really find any solution for it.
First got to UK in 2010, and I was trying Overshadow, his 9A plus, and I failed. But I was really impressed by this route, so I had to come back 1 year later and complete the second ascent. I'm more than excited to check it out, how this 9B feels, but I'm definitely sure it's not gonna be a soft catch either. I mean, definitely Steve's routes inspired me to go go to UK and check out his routes. If there weren't these routes, I probably wouldn't go here for climbing.